Hello and welcome to the City of Highwood's regular City Council meeting. It's July 1st. It's roughly 7:45 in the evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Grace.
Here.
Dahlberg.
Here.
Fetterman.
Here.
Fiore.
Here.
Levy.
Here.
Lenari.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Slavin.
Here.
Great, we have a quorum. If I wouldn't please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is a public hearing. This public hearing will be the annual appropriations ordinance for the City of Highwood, fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2014, and ending April 30th, 2015. If I get a motion to open.
Do you need to make a motion, or do you just open it?
You can open, motion to close it, but yeah, you can
Okay.
just call the public.
All right, well, then I'll call the meeting open. All right, good point. At this time, if anyone in the audience would like to address the City Council on the annual appropriations ordinance, now would be the appropriate time. Okay, if I get a motion to close that public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Is it all in favor or roll call?
You know,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed for the annual appropriations ordinance. Number 4 we have before us are the minutes. In pre-session, we had no comments on them, so if we can take them as an omnibus. We have before us June 3rd, 2014 regular City Council meeting, Committee of the Whole minutes for June 3rd, regular City Council minutes for June 17th, as well as the Committee of the Whole. If I get a motion to do that, please take them as an omnibus.
I'll make that motion.
second. You need to roll call that.
Roll call. Just more work than actually voting on them.
Get what you want, Mr. Mayor.
I tell you, be careful what you
Who
ask for.
seconded?
Mr.
Levy.
Levy. Be Alderman Levy to you.
Oh, don't be stuck.
Roll call.
Alderman Fiore.
Yes.
Levy.
Yes.
Lenari.
Yes.
Grace.
Yes.
Dahlberg.
Yes.
Fetterman.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Slavin.
Yes.
Couldn't call last every time.
Yeah, now,
Now, if I get a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I'll make that motion.
second.
Motion and a second. No, it's got to be roll call on this one, too. Roll call.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Alderman Dahlberg.
Yes.
Fetterman.
Yes.
Fiore.
Yes.
Levy.
Yes.
Lenari.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Slavin.
Yes.
Grace.
Yes.
Motion passes. We have no appointments this evening. Next up on the agenda will be the warrant list, 7-1 of 2014. We do have an adjustment. The new dollar amount will now be $174,365.58. If I get a motion to approve those bills, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I guess, right? Roll call, please.
Alderman Fiore.
Yes.
Levy.
Yes.
Lenari.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Slavin.
Yes.
Grace.
Yes.
Dahlberg.
Yes.
Fetterman.
Yes.
Kelly, your 69,000, the 69,000 coming escrow, that's just for our notification, that's for our notice, right? Okay. Next, on the 6.1, which are the Granger bills.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. There are two. Roll call, please.
Alderman Levy.
Yes.
Lenari.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Slavin.
Yes.
Grace.
Abstain, as I'm a
Fa-
employee of the company.
Dahlberg.
Yes.
Fetterman.
Yes.
Fiore.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Next on the agenda, public input for items not on the agenda. If anyone would like to address the city council at this time? Yep, just come on forward, sir. Yeah.
LTP. Thank you, Mary Charlie.
If you could just, wait, real quick, Chad. Name, I got the address? Oh, got it. 324?
Chad Rankin, 324 Oak Terrace,
Good one.
City of Highwood.
Okay.
Okay, I don't get to have a meeting as a customer. I'm trying to get in contact with the city. I'm going to attempt to do this as respectfully as possible and try to maintain composure. It's probably why my voice is cracking, but as I've said before, people are watching something else and they might not really care anyway. So without further ado, this letter is to outline some important facts regarding the water meter replacement program. In the late spring of 2013, a letter sent by the City of Highwood arrived at my private property. It made reference only to the dates of June 1, 2013 and the year of 2023. The letter stated, please note that the replacement of your water meter is mandatory in order to avoid the disruption of water service. So right away, there's no information, and the first thing that happens is I'm threatened with water shutoff without even knowing what the device is. Some people might not catch it. That's fancy language for saying, we're going to shut you off. Avoid the disruption of water service. I soon received a second letter containing no dates and no vital information regarding the replacement program. Today is the date of my first anniversary. It is my anniversary date of submitting 8 specific questions to the utility seeking answers to important customer concerns regarding the non-informative and threatening water meter replacement program. These questions included, number 1, the actual installation work must be completed by what calendar date, because none was given. Question number 5, what is the name or brand of the water meter which will be installed within our private residence? Number 6, what is the model number of the water meter which will be installed within our private residence? And number 8, does the new meter have an automatic shut-off device in its main case which can be activated using an electronic remote command by anyone with access to the operating system, instead of having to manually and physically turn a shut-off valve in the city parkway? This Friday, July 4th, marks an important anniversary of committed steps many brave individuals undertook in order to give us the liberties and freedoms we are blessed with today. The declaration was approved on July 4 and sent to the printer. Tells you how important print is. The Constitution was to follow. We, the people of the United States, in order to promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. The Highwood City Code of 2009 states, whereas the mayor and city council find that the adoption and maintenance of a unified city code is necessary for the further promotion of the public health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the city of Highwood. Now, I'm not going to take too much more time. Number 1, you're forced to install a device that makes your private property enter an increased security risk, whereas before it was not at that risk. Number 2, you're forced to pay for the device that's being forced into your private property, putting you at a security risk. And number 3, you're being overcharged by the device that's being forced onto you. So, it's like a 1, 2, 3 punch below the belt. So, how am I going to get up from this? It sounds like someone's yelling in my ear. The official is giving me the 10 count. Now, I have to do this because I don't have any other meeting. Somebody better remember this. This is serious stuff. This is money, okay? And mostly it's private property rights, okay? And they're being encroached upon. So I hear this 10 count. $1 for each of the $10 of the surcharge. So here's 5, 6, 7. Focus on that, because I'm not important. Get a shot of the money that's on the floor here. The money's on the carpet from 1971. Maybe it should be used to replace it so I don't trip and kill myself. Now look at that money. That money is more important than my rights. That's what's going on here. I think the money is where it's at. My rights really don't matter. Now, I'm almost done.
A couple seconds left.
Well, my couple seconds have to be extended for everyone that, no? Why not?
You get 5 minutes to speak, sir.
5 minutes. How many minutes do I have left?
6 seconds. I have 6.
Okay. I guess it ends there. We haven't really made any progress. You have my money. Have a good evening.
Okay.
I
All
guess I
right.
don't need to request for 5 minutes because I'm going to get it per what was just transpired. Thank you for
Exactly.
that.
Should we get your name?
My name is Enrique
Address.
Perez, and I own the house at 240 Sard Place. According to the May 28th, 2014 letter that I received from the city manager, Mr. Scott Hartman, a threatening and misleading letter to say the least, you guys are claiming that I owe you, as of today, $750 for that fine you think you want to charge for, well, for what? All because I do not want to install a surveillance device, I'm sorry, slip of the tongue, a water meter in my home. Okay. Oh, really? $750. So how do we handle this? Why don't I just do this? Why don't I take the advice of my kids, because they got a good laugh at that, and pay you in monopoly money as they suggested, and let's just leave it at that. Good idea? Maybe, maybe not. In any case, I really didn't come here to talk about exorbitant fines, threatening letters, city ordinances, technical misrepresentations by city officials, or surveillance devices, sorry, I meant to say water meters again, being forced upon my family and upon my home. I really came here to talk about 3 specific things: good intentions, bad influences, and misplaced loyalties. Mr. Mayor, back on September 3rd of last year in this very chamber, when you saw how concerned numerous residents were, including myself, about these surveillance devices, you rightfully, of your own analysis and own good intentions, and in an effort to resolve a very easily resolvable situations, you, Mr. Mayor, came out with an opt-out option. You did, sir. And for good reason, I believe, because back in 1994, which was the last time Highwood switched out these water meters en masse, your predecessor a couple mayors ago, Mayor Cerati, and the council at the time allowed the residents of Highwood an opt-out option. That was even quoted in the news, and I can show you that reference. So when you suggested, Mr. Mayor, the opt-out option back on September 3rd, your intentions were not only good, your reasoning was sound and fully grounded in history, Highwood history. But more than that, Mr. Mayor, when you suggested the opt-out option, you suggested it, sir, my first thought was, awesome. We have a mayor who actually cares about the people. Coming from Chicago, where we have a mayor who doesn't give a, and I'm going to not say the expletive because my kids are in the audience, about people, it was really refreshing to think that in Highwood, we have a mayor who cares about the people. And seeing you out there about in the community in the past, at the festivals, at the various things going on in the community, only reinforced that we have a mayor who cares. Then something really bad happened on that same day, September 3rd, after you suggested the opt-out option. The man who was sitting next to you at the time, Mr. Ferrolo, I believe he was, the city attorney, must have cast some horrible spell on you because your tone and position or disposition changed immediately after he uttered what must have been a few harsh words in your ear.
So you need to avoid personal attacks on individuals in your
Okay.
speaking.
You went from being the mayor of good intentions who cares about the well-being of his constituents, including their health, privacy, and security, to the mayor who succumbed to bad influences of somebody who doesn't live in the community, doesn't live in Highwood. You went from being a mayor who wanted to do the right thing by finding a compromise grounded in Highwood's history to the mayor who is now taking some really bad advice. Advice that, if implemented, is not something that those who are suggesting it are going to have to live with themselves. Put another way, the people suggesting this advice to you do not live in the community. So this means that they won't have to live with these surveillance devices that the council or that you or that the city manager are not trying to shove down our throats. Mr. Mayor, surely we can do better than that. But let me be crystal clear about one thing, Mr. Mayor. What we have here is a case of misplaced loyalties. with all due respect, Mr. Mayor, you don't serve the city attorney. You serve us, the residents of Highwood. You're our servant, not the attorney's servant. That said, Mr. Mayor, I would humbly appeal to your reason and to your sense of fair play, and most importantly, to our shared sense of community, which I know you have and I have here in Highwood. I would ask that you come back to the table, be true to your original thoughts and instincts that day on September 3rd, and let us have an opt-out option, which I once again say that you yourself was your own good idea before somebody else who doesn't live in Highwood whispered some really bad advice into your ear. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to address the council at this time? This would be the opportunity. Sorry, I just want to get ready for the next part. Okay. No one else? Next, I have the mayor's report. I do have an announcement to read. It is the recent passing of Velma Torelli. Maiden name was Nicioni. Velma, fondly known as Billy to most, was a former Highwood resident, business owner, and a member of the city council. In fact, Billy was the first female member of the city of Highwood and abundantly helped pave the way for gender equality in Highwood's local government. Current alderman, actually Louise Lenari, was a friend of Billy and worked at her clothing store. And Billy has current alderman Andy Peterson is a great aunt. And Louise told us some pretty good stories about that just before this meeting. So sounds like a wonderful lady. I'd like to thank Billy for her many contributions to the Highwood community. And we extend our condolences to her sons, Bobby and Tommy, her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and her other family members and friends. A visitation service will be held tomorrow. It's Wednesday, July 2nd, from 11 to 1 o'clock at Seguin and Simons Funeral Home at 858 Sheridan Road here in Highwood. A loss to our community. My sympathies go out to her, especially her family. So, sorry to see her go. That's all for the mayor's report this evening. Do we have a treasurer's report? We do. Okay. Okay, great.
She'll be really, really short because it's May. You got 1 month of the fiscal year. We didn't have a budget pass, so it looks like nothing. Did want to make a couple things. Even though it is May, we just start getting our property taxes, so we're using up some of the reserves. So you see a lot of transfers going out of our Illinois funds into the general checking account. Other than that, we've gotten in June $300,000 in property taxes so far. So just for our general fund, there's another $150,000 that went into our pension funds. So we're starting out the year like we always start out. We have a few more projects going on because we've got some engineering going on. But for the most part, it was a slow month. All I have to say.
Well said. If I get a motion, if I can get a motion to approve the treasurer's report for May 2014, please.
So move.
We have, and a second by Alderman Fetterman. Roll call?
All in favor?
It's been a while. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good to go. Clerk's report, nothing at this time. Unfinished business, we have none. That brings us to new business. We have quite a few. I'll read through them very quickly. 13.1 is an ordinance approving certain variations from the City of Highwood zoning ordinance for 200 Green Bay Road and 222 Morgan Place. 13.2 is an ordinance approving a zoning map amendment from R3 to B1 at 222 Morgan Place. 13.3 is an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow operation of a parking lot at 222 Morgan Place. 13.4 is a resolution authorizing a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Highwood and the Highwood Firefighters Union. 13.5 is a resolution approving and accepting an ARC recommendation regarding application mural at 337 Waukegan Avenue, Bent Fork. 13.6, a resolution accepting an ARC recommendation for awning, signage, and landscape planters at 310 Green Bay Road, PM Prime. 13.7 is a resolution establishing an estimated revenues for year 2014-2015. 13.8 is an adoption of 2014-2015 budget. 13.9 is adoption of an annual appropriations ordinance for the city of Highwood for the state of Illinois, fiscal year beginning May 1st, ending April 30th of 2015. 13.10 is an ordinance adopting fiscal year 20, no, we're taking that one. 13 point, I was waiting for that one. We'll jump to 13.11, an ordinance amending ordinance 13-0-40 to correct a Scribner's error with regard to the fine for possession of cannabis. Start from the very top. 13.1 is the ordinance for Highwood zoning ordinance for 200 Green Bay Road and 222 Morgan Place.
I'll make that motion to waive first reading and amend as.
Approve the amended
Approve the amended, as we amended, council.
Do you want to read the amendment?
You want to get a
Sure.
second, or you want to?
I'll
Well,
second it.
the amendments would need to be in the motion, so.
Yes,
I'll give it a second.
Let him read the amendments, and then we'll know what they are.
Pursuant to the discussions in the Committee of the Whole, the amendments would be to remove Condition 1 from the variance to Section 11-8-5, to include the language in accordance with the city code at the end of Condition 2, to remove Condition 6 for that variance. And then with the other variances, to also add the language in accordance with the city code at the end of each condition relating to the review of building and engineering plans.
That's all of them?
Those are all the amendments for that ordinance.
There weren't very many, but there were a couple we decided to amend. We have a motion.
Second.
Got it? Roll call, please.
Your
Yep.
Honor, Mr. Mayor, there's someone from the public. that
Come on up.
wishes-
Sorry about that. I had my head down.
She can speak. Just-
I think it's, take your time. You have 3 minutes, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Well, I have a committee of 5, so maybe I have more than that.
there you go. 5 times 3.
It's not going to take that long. First of all, I'd like to know what the amendments were. And I think that they should, instead of just saying we're eliminating, I think it should be stated for the public to know.
Okay. Well,
Because
first
they don't have that.
We'll read them to you right now.
For the variance to Section 11-8-5, which is the number of required parking spaces, the First Amendment was to remove the payment of a fee in lieu of the parking shortfall, and to remove the requirement that the outdoor patio area be paved with pervious paving material. And then the only other amendments to any of them were just to add the language in accordance with city codes at the end of the requirement that petitioner shall comply with other requirements imposed by city staff, city engineers, et cetera.
Okay. I mean, you all answered your own question when you were talking about parking shortfalls and where the money goes and how much money is going to be spent on signage for this property and this
No money.
business. I mean, you talked about that. How you can eliminate in total the amount of shortfall, not only saying that this property has no parking at all on site. Yes, they did buy a lot. Yes, they are going to tandem park, which we gave them a variance for when it's valet. The pavers, they were on the plans. They knew what we were talking about when we said it. We talked about the sidewalk. We talked about all of that. And the petitioner sat in the audience and agreed. I don't see how you can eliminate this parking fee for one business. How can you make them so special? I mean, besides the fact that they're getting $500,000 of money over 4 years that they're in business. I mean, does that not count for anything? Are we, $500,000 in taxes is going to take us more than 4 years. Okay. One of our main concerns is this traffic stop at Green Bay and Prairie. Staff has still not been able to say whether it's Highland Park or Highwood's territory.
That's not on this.
No,
No,
it's not.
that.
This is a report
It relates
from the
to
zoning committee.
Yeah.
Development itself.
Do you not want me to talk about this?
No, go ahead.
Not really. but-
Well, you're going to hear it because you're going to hear accidents happen if we don't do
Well,
something at that.
We have a study that's coming, so we're waiting for everyone to get it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So.
We also had a concern about people U-turning on Prairie. We're talking about safety
Right.
of the citizens.
That's key.
You know, this is some of it. When people come out of Mears, there's going to be so much more traffic on Green Bay Road to possibly make that a right turn only, so that they're not crossing 2 lanes of
Sure.
traffic. These are suggestions.
No, that's a good one,
These
though.
are suggestions.
We did have a slight
consideration.
discussion, just to add to your comments, we did have a discussion about that earlier, and how we're going to bring that street back. I guess there's a report out there we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
That we are going to address. I don't think we thought about the left turn, though, or the right turn, but we had thought about other things on that street.
And did you think about Morgan being one-way or two-way?
Yes.
Okay. And just to know that the petitioner did agree to have valet parking at all times that the restaurant was in operation. He agreed to that. So I don't know if you knew that or you heard it, but we worked really hard on this.
You did a good job.
And we gave a lot of consideration, and I think that we gave a lot of variances. And we did it because we want the business to succeed. But I don't want that business to be such a sweet spot in your heart that you're not going to follow through with the other rules that you have in place for everyone else.
Oh, we agree.
You know, you talked about it. I mean, that parking shortfall was supposed to go into a special fund. We need that fund. We need to blacktop our parking lots. We need to stripe them. And we have nothing. We have nothing. And
They were reducing their footprint, is what they came back to us on.
Plus the number was
Yeah.
incorrect.
And the way the number was incorrect, the way we multiplied it out. So it was it may have, I know the original number was
27.
27. It was down to like